Hello there. This is kind of a follow up to a video that I made a little while back when I was talking about Trey Reed and Corey Zukadis. Um, and so this is a little bit grim. Um, and I was talking about how those men were found hanged in Mississippi the same day, and they were labeled suicides, but to me they seemed kind of strange, both of them. And even if two people 100 miles apart hanged each other or hanged themselves on the same day, that still seems like something that maybe the local authorities should look into. But they just kind of like labeled it a suicide pretty quickly, in my opinion, and moved on. I just found it to be just strange, and I am not a conspiracy theorist, but I just feel like I don't know. It just seems like they kind of like rush that, and I've thought that about different situations for years now. But anyway, first I'm going to mention Jade McKissick. And she was a young lady in Houston. She was a college student and she died in a bayou. And I guess a lot of people die in bayous in Houston. And it was in the stories that I read, there was no like cause of death labeled. Um, there are some kind of conspiracy theories about that. Some people just say, yeah, well, people get drunk and, you know, they fall in the bayous. But again, like if people are out partying or whatever, or if they do take their lives and drown themselves in a bayou, I kind of feel like that's still a civic matter that the local officials need to deal with. I just feel like we need to expect more from the officials. I mean, because they're just labeling things. Oh, well, people are just going out and getting drunk and falling in the bayou, or oh, well, people are just, killing themselves in the bayou. And it's like, okay, well, that's kind of your problem. It's kind of your problem. That's kind of like a public health matter. So um, I certainly hope that they can resolve that. There was a boy who was, well, young man. He went to MU and he was missing for a while, and he died in Nashville. He was missing in Nashville, and then he ended up um, dying. It turned out he drowned in a river, and he was, out partying. He consumed a lot of alcohol, and he ended up dying in the river, just kind of stumbling about the city and fell in. So that's kind of what I thought about. Maybe it was a situation like that with Jade, but I do not know. But regardless, it sounds like the city really should do something. And in Nashville, too. I mean, if you're going to put a bunch of bars next to a running river, like put up some guardrails or something like that. So, anyway, yeah, there is all of that. And lastly, I'm going to talk about the LSU football player named Kyron Williams. He supposedly committed suicide, but here's the thing, he was accused of causing a car accident that killed an old man. Later on, and there was video of it, it was found that he did not cause the accident that killed the old man. The accident happened in front of him, and he just kind of drove around it. I mean, it just kind of, and it was not even directly in front of him. So he had absolutely nothing to do with it. And then the claim is that he committed suicide 2 days before he was supposed to testify um, in court. And now this really makes no sense. The news is saying he was in a police chase and then he killed himself after a police chase. Does that really make sense? I swear, in this Trump world, people just say things and then the news media just puts it out there and no one even like questions it. Everyone just takes it and runs with it. But I just found that to be bizarre. Like, in what universe does that make sense? Because we now have proof that he, Kyron, did not uh, cause that accident. Now, I know if it was me, if I was accused of something like that, I would be very, very anxious for my day in court. Like, I am not a big morning person, but I would be there with bells on early in the morning, have my lawyer by the hand, just walking up to the court, first one in line, almost like it's Black Friday or something. But this Kyron Williams person, they're saying that he was so despondent and so upset that he, to me, it simply does not make sense. And like Judge Judy says, if something doesn't make sense, it's probably not true. Now, first of all, he knows he didn't cause the accident. Cars have like black boxes and stuff like that inside of them. There's cameras everywhere. He was an LSU athlete, so he was already successful. I mean, being an LSU athlete, even if you don't go pro or go to the Olympics or something, that in and of itself is going to open so many doors. They said that he had been invited to the NFL Combine, but it had been revoked because of everything that he was going through. But nonetheless, I still feel like he had a lot going for him. So it just, I mean, and I could be totally wrong. Maybe he did. Maybe he did take himself out. But what I will say is the way the news reported it, it doesn't make any sense. So that's my main complaint here, is that it simply just did not make sense. And he should not have been accused in the first place, because, I mean, there's videos on the news right now proving that he had nothing really to do with that car wreck. So now my next question is this. So who was all involved in the car wreck? I mean, was it a one-car crash? If there was another car, like, who was in that car? That's the question. See, they don't ask the right questions, and they don't print the right answers. Just very messed up. I don't know if I said this or not, but Trey Reed, the football player Colin Kaepernick, and the lawyer Benjamin Crump, they are getting a second autopsy. They haven't released details to the public. There are some people on the internet, and there are some people, jumping to conclusions, but that information has not been released yet. But again, to me, it's just kind of peculiar, the circumstances of Trey Reed's demise. So, and even if there are people, offing themselves like that, perhaps there should be some public service announcements or something, or some services set up to try and help people not do that. But anyway, that's all I had to say. Just kind of wanted to follow up on that. So thanks for watching. Bye.